Remember the Titanic? Remember when Jack got died to death because that selfish dildo wouldn't share the door with him? And then the Titanic sank? It was kind of sad, but that's neither here nor there because someone thought it would be a fantastic idea to make a second one. But wait a minute, Let's Review Crap Writing. Are you only doing this review because of that Titan sub disaster? Well, not exactly. It was on my list of films to review, and then that happened, so I got curious and watched it. But before we film begin, do I have any comments on the Titan sub disaster? Well, actually, yes. You see, I have did the structural design engineering on pressure vessels and also inspection engineering. And I can absolutely assure you, this guy was an idiot. And I know, we shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but his failure to appreciate the importance of material properties and design safety factors got 4 other people killed. I mean, even a simple human carrying lift has a minimum safety factor of like 10 to 1 if I remember correctly, whereas this guy had a safety factor of, well, pretty much just 1, and then refused to do destructive testing, unless you count the test that killed 4 other innocent guys. Angry engineering rant over, and here we are in that really cold place called Greenland, which is not Iceland. Man, those Vikings must have been smoking a big, fat, juicy one to get those names the wrong way around. And look, here's a surfer dude who's like, bro, I really need to surf these waters because Al Gore said there'll be global warming any minute now. And holy ships, Gory Boy was right and there's some crap CGI glaciers falling off. So great timing. So he surfs it really, really coolly. But wait a minute, that wasn't the only global warming because an absolute unit of CGI ice just fell off, creating a huge friggin' wave. And now he's dead? Maybe? No one cares. Surfing over, and here's an old marine white guy who got refused a job at Ocean Gate because he wasn't young and diverse enough. And yeah, that Rush guy legit said that he didn't want to hire experienced ex-Navy white guys. Anyway, he's just been told that global warming hit Greenland, so here comes the world's crappiest CGI helicopter to take him all the way there. And that's fantastic, but what's going on elsewhere? Funny should ask that, it's the Titanic II, where everyone there is like, oh man, that ship's really, really cool. I want to give it a big old wave. And here comes another helicopter, which is not the one we saw earlier. It's crap Owen Wilson, who gets all the women. And also, he's really, really rich and successful too. And also, he wrote, directed, and starred in this film. Kind of a cringe self-insert right there. Scene transmission, and here's Ship Lady, who's just chilling. And wait, she's now getting a call from her pops. And no way, it's the old white guy from earlier. And what a coincidence that they're connected. And he tells her, I've got to go to Greenland. We just had global warming terrorist attacks, and then some ice fell off, and then maybe killed a polar bear, who cares? Anyway, but you and that damn Boaty McBoatface, Titanic or whatever, I don't like it. It doesn't seem safe. You should totally not go on it. And Ship Lady is concerned and asks him, did the boat pass all of its inspections? And he says, barely, it was a total rush job. And man, this movie does strike some pretty interesting parallels. So she ignores him and gets on the boat. But holy balls, she runs straight into crap Owen Wilson. It's like, oh man. It's also really, really sad because it turns out they used to play hide the sausage together and still have the feelings for one another. It's like, what a coincidence that her dad is the Greenland man and also she's right now in a boat with a literal ex who owns it. Sometime later, and crap Owen Wilson is giving a speech telling all those guys the Titanic I was a great ship. It was really, really cool, even if it did die to death. So I decided to build the second one, but it's really, really safe this time. And trust me guys, I made it with a safety factor of 1 because that's the winning number. Time for departing, and everyone is really, really happy about it. And look, they even got the daytime fireworks and crap CGI fly over to celebrate the occasion. Oh, that's totally cool. And now it's sailing away. But boy, I sure hope it doesn't sink because of global warming. But wait a darn minute, something's actually happening in Greenland. It's old white man who's now going in for landing to some very convincing campers down there. And yep, that's also a very convincing helicopter. So he gets out and starts talking to strong science lady who even brought her own poorly disguised green screen with her. And she says, old guy, you won't ever bother to learn the name of. A massive piece of ice fell off and they just keep coming. It's like we're standing on an ice cube. And he's like, oh my ship, you're right. Quick, get me Al Gore right now. He'll know what to do. but sadly he's hunting Man-Bear Pig, so it's up to them to warn the world of melting ice. Back to the Titanic II, which is literally Birdemic level CGI right there, and here's crap Owen Wilson, and he's looking out in very deep thought across the ocean. It's like, yeah, you're about as deep as a puddle, mate. And would you believe it, his ex-ship lady just rolled up saying, why are you out here? Sure you want to be doing all the partying with those hookers you so obviously bought. But he says, you know, I actually tried calling you after we broke up. And she's like, what? You tried calling me like 6 months after we ended. And Owen Wilson, he does feel a little bit bad about that. But he also did just realise that she's still wearing the earrings that he bought her, which means the romance may not be dead between them. Wait, hold on guys, I just realised no one actually cares. So let's move on because the captains are talking, and they're discussing how cool the Titanic II is. But they sure hope they can avoid the icebergers this time. Well, that's blatantly some kind of foreshadowing. I mean, just look at the IMDb description. Will the ship suffer the same fate as her namesake? Well, it's called the Titanic, so it kind of would ruin the film if they arrive safely. What's happening in Greenland? Well, that glacier must have heard that the Titanic II has set sail because the whole big bit of ice just fell off and it even killed that guy. So old man and science lady hop back in the helicopter and get the utter duck out of that place. It's like, it's such a disaster. I cry big time. So what does old man do about it? Does he team up with Al Gore to release another one of his stupid films? Or what about getting a professional ice sculptor? Nah, he tells the Coast Guard, watch out guys, there's a whole load of ice falling off that ice place, and there's gonna be a tsunami. Quick flip because the Titanic II has just been informed about it, and they're like, holy moly guys, if we don't buck our ideas up, we'll go the same way as the original Titanic. You know, the one starring Rose and Jack, and they'll totally be doing the sex in my car. Well, I can't have that, the seats are sticky enough. So they inform the passengers, you need to get to the lower decks guys, because a huge tsunami is coming. Ship lady is a bit of a dingus though, and after being told to get to the lower decks decides, you know what, I want to go stand outside instead. Which is actually very convenient because her dad man is trying to call her, although she left her phone elsewhere, and he's saying, don't go into the lower decks because that ice will do a big terrorism on the lower decks. You need to get higher. But oh no, there's a problem on the Titanic. The propeller has just ceased to function, which is the worst possible time. You know, that means they're totally sitting ducks in the mid-Atlantic. So it's alarm time requiring everyone to calmly go wear their life jackets. But like how are they going to do that calmly? Let's go to the captain guys, because they've just seen an utter mountain of a tsunami and it has ice in it. Well, it just hit and now the ship's hull's been breached. It's like, oh man, it's just like that film James Cameron by Titanic. You know, ship goes sail, ship get ice cubed, ship sink. And now they're utterly screwed because all the lifeboats on the side of the Titanic, they're just pretend ones. They're all for show. And they never designed the ship either to get hit by the side. So that means they're taking in loads of water. And Captain Sidearm Man says, what an utter pickle we're in, mate. It looks like history is repeating itself. Well, yeah, it's called the Titanic. What the hell do you expect to happen? What's old Dat Man up to? He's telling the US Coast Guard, you need to get all those boat people evacuated from that ship. Because I just learned that maybe another icefall will come along and it will cause a tsunami so big, it'll reach your fat ass mum's knees. And would you look at that, guys? A whole load of global warming just happened again. Conveniently, just as he said it. How's the Titanic doing? Not too well actually, it's starting to fall over. And if they just would have built the thing out of carbon fibre, this whole thing could have been avoided. Owen Crapson and Ship Lady are proper scared, but they actually need to go rescue their friend in the infirmary for some kind of reason. So they run all the way downstairs, and her friend has a killer filing cabinet on her, and it's killing her to death. So they start giving her +10 health bar, and it's really intense, even though no one actually cares. So what's happening outside? Utter pandemonium, of course, where some idiots have already started to jump off the boat, and now they're dead. Maybe they should have just waited on the actual deck to see what happens. Well, that's great. Thanks, carbon dioxide, the only thing that causes global warming. You totally killed those guys to death and sunk 2 Titanics. We should have listened. Back to the captain's room where Big Daddy Old Man just radioed to the captain guy to say, those other lifeboats you have that like aren't the pretend ones, they're totally death traps because there's another big wave coming. So if you go in them, you'll probably die. And like, so what are they meant to do then? Stay on a sinking ship and face pretty much almost certain death, or take a lifeboat and play that chance? Huh, who wrote this utter trash? Oh yeah, this guy. Doesn't matter, because there's been a big explosion out of nowhere and now the captain's dead, so he can't relay that message. Flippity flop to Owen Crapson, who's stuck on a lift for some reason. I mean, they're literally on a sinking ship and decide, oh, we'll just take the lift instead of the stairs that we clearly came down on. But don't worry, Ship Lady is getting a call from her dad, and she answers saying, hello dad, I have no idea how I have signal in the middle of the Atlantic, inside of an elevator, surrounded by thick ass steel. But you know, I'm stuck. And Dad Man is like, well that really ain't cool. So I actually do feel sorry for you, bro. Anyway, there's going to be another big wave coming any minute now. So please don't die in it, mate. Actually, I've had a thought. Get to the diving tanks, like below ship deck, whatever. Because if you do, you won't die. Even though we all blatantly know that Owen Crapson's going to. And it's just going to be a rehash of Titanic 1. So, how do they escape the lift? By using a convenient axe out of nowhere, of course, on the little roof hatch. And now they're climbing up a ladder, and that's problem solved. How's it going outside? Not too well, actually. The ship's on fire. So let's go back to our super cool Titanic guys. They're trying to get through a door, and it's really hard because somehow it's stuck. So Owen Crapson shoves an axe in it, and then pries it open, and it's like really difficult because it's trying to close, and he's got a axe there. No one actually really cares. But there is a bit of an issue though, because a random woman just tried to squeeze through the gap, and then the axe slipped, releasing the door, and then it crushed her, so she's dead. And my first question about this scene is, why did the door need to be pried open in the first place? They never explained it, just went, oh no, door won't open properly, so, you know what, I'm thinking too much here. So, Owen Crapson and Ship Lady are like, right, well, that bitch died, so we need to carry on, which they do. But oh no, water is starting to come in, and there's a live electrical wire on the floor. I guess no one ever heard of a fuse box? Huh. So, the best thing they could do is monkey bar across because the floor is quite literally electrical lava. And this scene literally lasted for 2 minutes of runtime. Just to get over an electrical wire. What a load of crap. I hope they all die. But they sadly made it. Big congratulations, I guess. But there's even more of an issue, because they can hear someone knocking. And it's from a guy stuck behind another door. And they need to save him. But they better be quick though, because there's a fire. Wait, hang on. No, random passenger man is now dead for reasons. So like, that was a completely useless. What was the point in that scene? They carry on into the diving room. Very, very easy, and get dressed up in dive suits and all that. Bangs a mash, mate. Well done. What's the other captain guys who didn't die doing though? They're watching a giant global warming wave coming, and it's really scary if you could actually bloody see it, and if you actually really cared. Anyway, that ship got hit like bigly time. Bigger than before. So I guess they're all dead now. I mean, there's nothing there because... Oh wait, sorry. They just got hit by a literal tsunami, and Owen Crapson and Ship Lady have 0 injuries. It must be the plot that's protecting them. And now there's another issue, guys. They just keep coming, don't they? The door that they used to get in here is now blocked for some kind of reason. So that means definitely certain death this time. Of course it's not certain death, because she activated an emergency beacon on her dive suit that alerts her dad in the helicopter of her exact position through like inches thick steel somehow. And my question is, how is that helicopter still flying? I mean, they've been flying for possibly 1,000 miles now and not needed one refuel. Oh, it totally makes sense. Anyway, Owen Crapson is actually going to die because he doesn't have a diving suit, and the water is really, really cold. But lucky for him though, he had all his boosters and wore a mask. And if we actually head to the helicopter, old Daddy Man is getting his dive suit on because for some kind of reason he packed one ready to go. And now he's coming to save his daughter. Oh, the suspense. It is killing me. But not as much as it's killing Owen Crapson, which in this case is a good thing, and now he's dead. What's going on in a helicopter? Oh my utter balls, the bloody thing is running out of fuel finally. Kind of thought that would have happened a long time ago, but obviously not. So Science Lady totally yeets herself out of that thing and into a little life raft. while Pilot Man goes down with his airship and then dies on impact. Even though he could have literally yeeted himself out too. I mean, seriously, he could have just jumped out and survived, but instead he went, "I'm just stay here, bro. Don't worry about it." How's Dad? Well, he's actually quite alright. He's getting along just fine. Wait, sorry, that's actually my dad. Phil Dad has just reached the diving room and he's in a bit of a panic because he needs to save his daughter. And look, there's those pesky cabinets that somehow managed to perfectly align themselves against the door to trap them inside. So, long story short, he moves them out the way, saves his daughter, and that was very easy. And it was just in time because that Titanic just sunk again. They get back to the surface and into a life raft, bringing a dead body with them. I don't know, finders keepers, I guess. And that's also, that's it. Film finish. And what was the point in it? Oh, they didn't even get Celine Dion to sing the theme tune. Oh man, 2 out of 10 would not go visit the Titanic II in a carbon fiber submersible.
Subscribe button.
It's always right.